But Jerry Siegel used to send like poison death threats to DC Comics executives.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
I've got copies of some of those
Neil
letters.
Adams, he said that he was just filled with piss and vinegar before he died. Like he just filled with hate. And Joe was just an absolute angel, apparently.
Let me read this here. Dear neighbor, J.S. Liebowitz, Vice President Liebowitz?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Vice President of National Comics Publications Incorporated, lives in the Kings Point section of Great Neck in a large mansion on One Cow Lane. National Comics Publications published Superman. Superman has made millions for National Comics Publications, which is run by Liebowitz, Donenfeld, and Sampliner, and still makes tremendous profits. Soon it will make more millions for them on television. I am Superman's creator. I'm destitute, living with my wife and tiny baby in a small, crowded apartment in Great Neck. I shortly face extradition and prosecution for non-support of the child of my first marriage due to lack of funds. Fat profits for these selfish, greedy owners of Superman who a judge ruled acted illegally in publishing Superboy without right. They have maneuvered me, the creator of Superman and Superboy, to a point where in a few days my wife and I will be forced to go on an involuntary hunger strike in protest. While they stuff their bellies, we will be hungry. There are just a few cans of food left in our apartment. Whenever you see Superman, symbol of glorious justice, whether in comic books, newspapers, comic strips, TV, radio, movies, or commercial novelties, think of me, his destitute creator. Sincerely, Jerry Siegel.
Who was this? Was this to the newspaper, or was this to who did he write this to?
He wrote it to Jack Liebowitz.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Did
and there's a hold on a second here. There's a follow-up letter that Liebowitz responded to, and let me share my screen. I'll read this to you. This is fucking brutal.
Okay, let me see. You pull it up. Let me know when you got it.
So the letter you're going to read is written by Siegel as well, following up.
No, this is Jack Liebowitz as a follow-up. But here on the letter on the left, can you see it?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm about to share. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So on March 10th, 1939, he wrote to Liebowitz, and at that point, Superman, they had good relationships and stuff like that. The one on the right is much later, and it says, "Dear Jerry, according to your own circulated statements, you plagiarized Superman from the writings of Philip Wiley. Inasmuch as you openly and brazenly confess to such purloining, it seems to me that Philip Wiley should receive from you the thousands of dollars paid you for your creation. I will be more than glad to return the bond you gave me when you make restitution to Wiley, an author whose works I admire. While I'm writing you, there are a number of other things I'd like to get off my chest. I deeply resent your lying and distorted insinuations. You claim that National Comics has blackballed you in the industry and persuaded the other comic publishers to bar you from any job. Isn't it a fact that you tried to re-enter the comic field via Funny Man? That was a comic that he wrote.
Yeah.
But it flopped due to mediocrity and lack of circulation. Isn't it a fact that Ziff Davis hired you as an editor and released you for incompetence? You know you weren't blackballed there. Isn't it a fact that you were given the same privileges every comic writer is afforded at Fawcett Publications, but couldn't sell them because your work could not meet their standards? Why is it that your own former partner, Joe Shuster, does not share any of your sentiments regarding the way our organization treated you? If you're hungry and need money, why don't you sell your convertible car? Why don't you get an honest job? The post office could use extra men these days.
Wow.
If I had a code, it gets better. If I had a hungry infant, I wouldn't spend necessary money on postage, stencils, and mimeograph machines. No, Jerry, I can't offer you any sympathy. You were a vicious, hypercritical, greedy bastard. Little sympathy we would have had from you if you had won your suit against National Comics. All your delusions are based on a character which you admit you stole from someone else. I can't feel sorry for a man who divorced his wife, abandoned his child, and squandered his money as you have.
Wow.
You don't know what year that one was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you know what year that was?
Well, based on some of the stuff they're talking about, it had to be the 1950s, I think.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
A mimeograph machine. So they didn't have like typewriters at home. He had to actually go out and have somebody.
Well,
Type it
if
up
you
for
wanted
him?
multiple copies, yeah, he would.
You had to go make a mimeograph.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is
That's-
insane.
Yeah, isn't that brutal?
Wow.
Yeah.
These guys didn't get along very well.
Apparently not.
No, it seems like Jerry was a bit of a problem.
Yeah, he was. And
Well,
but
I
Joe
mean,
was the angel of the two.
Yeah, I'm forced to. I'm not sure how I feel about it necessarily. I'm not sure where I come down on it.
Yeah.
I got to just kind of believe in the creator of Superman, first and foremost. Yeah. Let me see here. There's got to be some more letters here. Yeah, they're all. Oh, look, they're on sale right now. $5 for this.
I'd
I'd pay $5 for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
$5 for this. Dear sir, remember me? I'm Jerry Siegel, who had a faith and a good income. The Superman Publishers National Comics Publications Incorporated took it away from me. National Comics Publication Incorporated, headed by Harry Donenfeld, J.S. Liebowitz, have made millions from Superman. These selfish, greedy men who a judge ruled acted illegally in publishing Superboy without right. Ooh, he hammers that home. Maneuvered me. This is all like fucking the same thing. Don't repeat yourself. Let me
This
see
one's
what
going
else.
for
And I think that's the thing. You see, there's another one. I don't have a copy of it, but where he talks about that it's Father's Day, and he can't do anything with his son because he's living in a shithole and has no money, while you are living Harry Donenfeld, while you, or Liebowitz rather, while you are living out in the Hamptons or wherever he was,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just he's playing the family card and all this stuff. It's really embarrassing.
It gets worse and worse with this guy. I don't know. All right, hold on a second. It's Christmas time. It's very sad. Dear Mr. Lanenhan, Superman is a laughing stock. Like, this is Christmas time, too, that he wrote this. December 2nd, 1951.
And it's all caps, too. He's yelling.
Hell yeah. Everybody knows that he is a phony, that his principles he stands for is a mockery because his owners have ground his creator into the dust and his creator is destitute. If you expect any people to have any respect for National Comics Publications Incorporated or for Superman, forget it! They know what National Comics Publications, Donenfeld, Liebowitz, and Sampliner have done to his creator. I created Superman, and since the National Comics Publication Incorporated and its officers have smashed me, I am gonna smash Superman.
Why did he not send these letters to the newspaper? He would have got way more mileage out of this,
Right?
rather than sending it to Liebowitz.
Right. To a guy that could read him and go, that's nice, trash.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, obviously he didn't, but it's like nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
Well, now that one there was to McClure Syndicate, so that's who syndicated the newspaper, the Superman newspaper strip. And the story goes that the deal he had with National, I mean, he and Joe made a shit ton of money. Like, they had complete rights to the newspaper strip, and they didn't have to split it with DC. They gave them the rights to that. And newspaper strips in the 1940s, if you were in a lot of papers, made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there must be some truth then that Siegel squandered what money he had.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Graham, but I think when they took National to court over the rights to Superboy, those legal costs that took a big chunk out of their estate and fortune.
Yes, yeah. When he was pretty upset about the whole Superboy thing, and there was also an issue when he came back from the war too. He made claims that they, I think that's when they took Superboy or something like that, was when he came back from the war while he was away, something like that.
What was Superboy? I mean, Superman and all this stuff. Was it published in New Fun?
No, Action Comics.
Oh, it was in
Yeah,
Action
so
Comics.
I think from what Neil Adams said, it was that when they pitched Superboy to DC, they said, "No, this is a stupid idea. We're never going to do this." And then when it went off to war, that was when DC launched Superboy when they were gone.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
But he ended up getting the rights to Superboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it gets worse here. Dear friend, I am broke.
That's not a good lead.
Yeah. And will have to apply for relief because National Comics Publications Incorporated appropriated Superboy from me. I no longer am connected with or have an income from my creations, Superman and Superboy. National Comics Publications Incorporated destroyed me for profit. Sincerely, Jerry Siegel.
Now, who did that go to?
That went to just a friend.
Oh,
Okay. And then this letter went to Harry Donenfeld. Harry, it may add to the joy of your Christmas merrymaking to know that I am going to have to go on relief while you make millions from my creations. You wouldn't give me a chance to write again, to lead a decent life by appropriating Superboy. You destroyed me. But everyone knows how you've rewarded the creator of Superman and Superboy for helping you found your comic book empire. You can see what they really think of you, not in their words, but in what they don't say, and in their eyes. They know that you destroyed me for profit, and that you are not offering my family a helping hand so that we can survive. How can you enjoy any achievements knowing it is being built on my crushed career? Is money worth that? When you face your maker, will he accept the fine print in your lawyer's legalisms? Are you at all concerned with your immortal souls?
Oh my goodness.
wow.
When you eat and drink and have shelter, remember that the man you destroyed is faced with poverty. When you celebrate at your Christmas party, remember that I will be there in spirit, looking at you, walking by your side, and asking, why have you done this to another human being? Why are you forcing me to go on relief? As long as I live and afterwards, I shall haunt you and yours. Before God, I put a curse on you.
Maybe this was like a sample of writing. He was like, maybe if I put this into a letter, he'll be like, this dude can write.
Love Jerry Siegel. Merry
That's
Christmas.
brutal, man.
I know.
Okay, I'm confused here, Graham. So if they got the rights to Superboy, how then did they lose the rights to Superboy and DC get him again?
From what I remember, it was that the lawyers told them to disappear for 15 years and that they could get the rights back. But it's because the lawyers may have screwed them out of that, from what I was told.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
So
told
what-
Andrew I'd be working tonight. Don't worry. I'm allowed to scream. I said, I'm partying downstairs. I'll be drinking. I'll be performing for my audience.
So they went from the national publication to calling the company Superman DC?
Yeah.
Just rub it in his face. We're going to call it Superman DC now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, and then,
I
and
know.
then they eventually dropped the Superman and kept DC.
This is very exciting. May your pencils break and your brushes split when you're in front of the fire with your family and friends enjoying a delicious Christmas feast. Just know that my family and I will be eating roaches. We're going to be eating bugs. Naked in the alleyways begging for bits of potato. fighting vermin for crumbs from your table. You filth.
May your white collars be stained with ink.
I think it's funny. It's one Jewish guy yelling at another Jewish guy about celebrating his Christmas feast.
That's
Right.
Well, hold on.
I hope your
Talking about here.
menorah burns down
And
your house.
his immortal soul.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Christian thing? The immortal soul?
Yeah. Are you at all worried for your immortal soul? Well, I mean, look.
I'm surprised, despite Siegel's rather sort of rough approach to this,
Yeah.
you still sort of have to pity the guy. I mean, he did create the character, and you would have thought DC maybe you would just give him some money just to shut him up, you know?
Well, they
Well,
could
the
be
story
plagiarized.
goes that, during the day, from the late 1930s through the 40s, they had a nice income generated. Their studio created, they were a packaging studio that created all the Superman material for DC Comics. And they were making a ton of money on merchandise, on the books, on the radio program, on the, later on the serial, and on the comic strip, But it was like, the story goes, and I don't know, but that Jerry was constantly wanting more. And then with the lawsuit, the final straw being the lawsuit against National, trying to get the rights to Superman entirely, just soured them. And they said, okay, you want to go to war? We're going to go to war. And that's basically what happened. And so he burned all his bridges, and that's how he ended up. And it's sad. It really is.
Well, so what happened to who was this? Schuster.
Schuster started losing his sight early on, and he was they ran the studio together, and that's why you had Wayne Boring.
And these are the letters that Jerry Siegel sent. Now, I just read one of them, but what I haven't read you yet is that Jerry Siegel, he wrote a poem. See, it wasn't enough. He's a writer. You understand, this man, he was a writer. He created Superman. So he wrote a poem to Harry Donenfeld of DC Comics. And I'm going to perform it for you tonight. And I hope you enjoy it.
Please,
Love it.
I feel like I should dim my lighting.
Hang on, you got the.
Are you ready, Billy? Are you ready?
I'm ready,
for that?
brother. I'm ready.
I'm wiping the tears away already.
The poem is called "Because of You" by Jerry Siegel.
Oh, shit.
I can't wait. This is
Venom.
Apologies to no one.
There we go. Because of you, there's no food in my house.
Oh, shit.
This was written in 1951, of Christmas of 1951. Okay, let me start again. Because of you, there's no food in my house. Because of you, Superman is a louse. Because of you, my life is a wreck. And you just don't give a heck. Because I've no Superman check. You only live for your pride and your dough. But once you're gone, it won't help you, you know. My baby and wife cannot enjoy their life. And it is all because of you. Wow.
Oh,
Powerful.
Shit. Wow. Horrible.
This guy was nuts.
Yeah.
He was angry.
Well, they
He
stole
was- he
his
was-
property.
he was-
Yeah, they robbed him. He created millions for that company.
This guy definitely hit the ice wall more than once.
That's right.
It's a good thing that Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon don't really put too much thought into how much money The Dark Knight Rises made.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, don't think
Got into it, Billy.
What's that? What?
There you go, Billy.
You
Thanks.
used to see my letters.
Make these
They'll
look
be
like,
released.
I have
Dr.
a poem
Seuss.
too, you know.
You're Jerry Siegel. You're mad? Well, here's a red cape. Now you can be super mad. There you go.
Oh, boy.
Poems. I want more poetry.
I do too. We'll see if any come. This is to Misters Donenfeld, Liebowitz, and Sampliner over at National Comics Publications Incorporated. And here's what Jerry Siegel had to say.
We should do a search on 480 Lexington Avenue.
Oh, to see what DC Comics looked like back then?
Comics look like. I'm sure that building's still around.
Yeah.
Sorry, it looked a lot like that apartment.
Yeah, right. No, probably it was. Actually, look that up and let's take a look.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think I might have been to that building at one point.
In the 50s? Like they didn't.
No, but they were at 480 Lexington for a long time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, okay. On the occasion of this Christmas season, when you have turned deaf ears and cold hearts upon the man you deliberately ruined, I put on you a curse. May you become subject to all of the horrible maladies that beset mankind. Disease, fire, flood, gas, tragedy, self-destruction, ropes, and sharp and heavy instruments. May God crash doom upon the bones and flesh and blood of you and yours. Wow. Merry Christmas. Wow. I see by the current Sunday Superman strip that Superman, famous big-hearted do-gooder, is helping a young lad. How kind and humane! This touched me until I recalled that Superman's owners stole Superboy from his creator while he was in the army. And then I began to laugh. Laugh at Superman's owners, who sell Superman's goodness for money while wiping off the blood from the knife they stuck into his creator's back. Imagine thieves controlling Superman, the greatest battler for justice in the world. I have created what I call the identification game. You reads them, and I let your conscience identify him. Number 1, philandering, drunken runt. Number 2, a hunk of foul, kosher, Romanian pastrami.
At least it's kosher.
Yeah. Number 3, philanthropic phony. Number 4, fat rat. Number 5, sadistic swine. You are herewith invited to grab this as you grab my other creations. Like yourself, I am a Jew. I have read of your wonderful philanthropic work on behalf of the Jews, and I am writing you for help as one Jew to another. You see, some Jews have given me a rough time, snatched away my creations, and slyly deprived me of an income from them. As a gladiator who fights in behalf of downtrodden Jews, whether they come from Romania or anywhere else, I appeal to you in the hope that you will do something about these clever Jews. They have cut off pounds of my flesh with their Jewish lawyers. They have deprived a fellow Jew from earning a living from his phenomenal creations. How can you battle the so-called international Jew legends as depicted in the protocols of Zion when Jews like the above are permitted to stick a knife in the economic back of another Jew, facing him with the necessity of having to go on relief? Millions of these cunning, grasping, money-lusting Jews. Poverty for the Jew they ruin. I have placed a bitter curse on these Jews, and I hope that they and theirs will suffer under the curse for all time. I spit upon them, and I hope it won't be long before they rot in hell. When Superman goes on television, if not earlier, the story of his birth will be unfolded. Love, Jerry Siegel. Profiteers.
Hey, Aaron, I think
Superman's creator is
Khan wrote this.
What's that?
I think Khan wrote this.
I know. For hate's sake.
The guy spit at me.
You bloodsucker.
And then he sent them this white powder.
Cocaine.
Which is anthrax, apparently.
No.
Oh my God!
He sent them white powder test material.
The sad thing is that if a doctoral student in Columbia University sent that same exact letter in, he would get an A.
Yeah.
Universities.
Look at that. They sent it out to be tested, and it was cornstarch.
Just cornstarch. Yeah.
Well, how could he afford anthrax? He can't even feed his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were looking for something else to crucify him with.
You know, I worked for Neil
Did he
Adams.
really
and
send
Neil would
in that powder? I'm sorry. Did he really send in
Yes.
that powder? With his lip?
Yes. Billy's
Neil would tell
laughing.
me stories about these guys, but I had no clue he was filled with this much piss and vinegar. Neil was holding back on me on some of these stories. Wow.
Did he face any criminal charges
Wow.
for sending out cornstarch?
For what? Cornstarch?
Cornstarch. You could just say I was making pancakes when it.
That's right. I was trying to feed my kid.
Yeah, that's all I could feed my kid was pancakes. Like all I could afford was cornstarch.
Actually, we
yeah.
eat cornstarch straight right out of the package.
Yeah.
That's how
Have
poor
a
we are.
spoonful of cornstarch, Jimmy.
Fell out of my mouth into the envelope.
Marcus Killigrew in the chat informed us, as he knows all, said that it was Otto Binder and Al Plastino that created Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah.
I
apologize.
always used to wish that Al Plastino had created Plastic Man. I thought that would have been perfect.
Oh, that would have been great.
Right?
Yeah, Plastino. What a great
I
name.
never liked Plastino's Superman. I always preferred Kurt Swan's over Plastino's. His was kind of soft looking.
Yeah.
You know, I liked Wayne Boring's a lot.
I mean,
stylistic, but
I preferred Siegel and Schuster's version. Thank you very much. Till they
Yeah.
got stolen from them.
We should look up Otto Binder and see if he got ripped off by DC as well.
I hope he did. I hope everybody did now. I hate these
I
guys.
hope.
By the way, I've turned the chat against Siegel, Jerry Siegel. Oh, but he could afford a stamp, eh?
that's right.
Kids are starving, but he could afford
You could pay that 2 cents for a stamp.
He could also afford cornstarch.
Well, he wasn't probably. Ethan, I sent I posted in the private chat the link to the building because I'm sure he couldn't take the subway for a quarter because he was banned from the building.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
would drop the letter off, so he had to get a stamp.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the
here-
way, Jimmy, he borrowed that cornstarch from a neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy, is this the Lexington Avenue?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And that's
That's
DC's
the
offices in the 30s and 40s.
I don't remember that building.
No, I don't either. But I remember seeing it in the indicia of the comics.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Art, your memory's going. I'm sure you were there a
That
few
building
times.
also might have been.
My memory has never been.
Grand Central Palace, it was called.
Oh, geez.
Beautiful those cars are in the front. Wow.
That's just a shame. Can you imagine, guys? Seriously, I mean, you've all created some pretty substantial characters, especially Graham and Ethan for DC Comics.
Yeah, what a waste.
And just to see the, oh my God. Like I remember Jimmy was telling me, or not Jimmy, somebody else, not Jimmy, was telling me about Grant Morrison, and he would give all his best ideas to DC. I guess that's who he was working for, right?
Yeah.
And everybody like, Grant, don't give him that. Keep that for yourself. He's like, no. I guess he's Scottish or something.
Yeah.
I want to give it to them. I'm doing my best work. They're not paying you enough to give you best work. Like, remember Art pulled that one saying, well, you're paying me $125 a page. I'm only giving you $125 worth of page. You're paying me $150, $200 a page. You're gonna get that much more.
That's how I got my raise.
Give me ownership. Give me ownership of the character I create, and then you're gonna get much better characters coming out of me.
Or
Right.
characters at all.